Everyone, you might remember a long ass time ago, a very long ass time ago, one game that's always popular that was used like the example of, a very memey game that's so popular that your grandma plays it. It was Flappy Bird. Like, whenever you want an example of, a very popular game, it was Flappy Bird. You play on your phone, you play on like iOS, Android, PC, whatever. You don't have to be some young ass kid always playing games to understand it. Anybody could. So in that way, there was a very short time in gaming where everyone, like no matter what the age or, culture, was connected via Flappy Bird. And I know it sounds very gay, but it was like that simplistic. Anybody, just anybody in general, could understand it. But before the game, Flappy Bird could have a long lifespan, maybe 5 years, for a phone game. It was pulled by the App Store by the creator, the Vietnamese guy. And if you don't know the story, the guy who made it, he made a shit ton of money every single day from the game. Like I'm not sure if there were ads on it, but he probably got like some royalties from from iOS or Android or whatever. But the game got so popular that he saw how much it ruined his life and the lives of others that he just pulled it for the betterment of the world, the whole world. So since then, it's been like a very bizarre relic where it was popular, insanely popular with everyone, and then it just died out of nowhere. So, and that on that one side, it was, someone interesting. But now, fast forward to today, and now Flappy Bird is being re-released again, not by him, but by someone else, trying to carry on the legacy. Almost 10 years later, trying to carry on its fame, if anyone cares about it still. So I'm gonna talk about today. And by the way, if you're wondering like what's up with the room, thanks to you guys for all the support of the videos, I was able to buy a new apartment with all that money, a much bigger place all for myself. I don't live with my step-parents anymore, so that's good. So I can keep on making more videos for you guys, so thank you for that side. But carrying on with Flappy Bird, yeah, the foundation that released it, or like, working on it, is called the Flappy Bird Foundation, which makes it seem like it's a cancer, charity, where the creator of it died painfully, and now they want to carry on this legacy. But it's not that. I'm sure the original Vietnamese guy is doing fine and well. It's just that he doesn't care about it anymore, and he might still be rich enough that he doesn't want you to, make it again. So a foundation, probably by fans, wants you, put it out there again for the world you enjoy. And I say fans because if you look at the trailer, well, they made a trailer by the way, and the official Twitter account, and some of the art on the game, it does seem, they couldn't have full liberty of what they could bring on the game. Like they couldn't bring everything original from the actual game in the beginning, so they actually, rework some stuff. For one, that ain't Flappy Bird, that's some weird redesign, and when you think about it, that's definitely what happened, there's some fight between the foundation and the original developer, and they were like, okay, you can make the game, but don't use my fucking original character design, okay? You make your own and make it look worse as well. Also, I might as well talk about the trailer because it seems very emotional for just a fucking phone game that came out 10 years ago. Like for one, they have news from 10 years ago being Flappy Bird is a new big game. All the youngsters are playing it, and then fast forward to being Flappy Bird is now pulled off the App Store, and they show a clip of PewDiePie, and it makes him very sad, very emotional. Oh no, it's gone. But then no, Flappy Bird is back, better than ever, and you're okay, wow, cool. And they have a bunch of stock footage of people on the toilet playing the new Flappy Bird game, and that's when you see they have a bunch of new characters, a bunch of new levels, very interesting stuff to keep you playing on the game if you care that much about Flappy Bird. And I will admit, the trailer, it does look cheap. However, you have to imagine that a developer team, making Flappy Bird or remaking it, probably doesn't have the biggest budget. I mean, okay, first off, a game like Flappy Bird, you can make that game on a budget of, $10, not expensive. So I feel the outcome of this, a very small budget for what people could make, on the game, probably, 10 to 1. Because think about it, Flappy Bird, I know it's dead, but a lot of people, could come back. They could come back to this game. Because I really think it has that sweet spot of 10 years. If it was much longer, 20 years, nobody would remember it at all. But 10 years, you have people like PewDiePie, as they showed. You have, I'm sure a couple of people, on SNL or some late night show talked about it, and they'd be so Flappy Bird, remember that game? It's coming out again. They definitely bring it up. So I think right now is a decent time. However, I will say now, when I first saw the trailer and I thought about it, I was like, okay, let's watch a couple of people play it on YouTube or wherever, and then have one famous actor bring it up, like whoever, like Ryan Reynolds, he brings it up, yeah, and then a month later, nobody remembers it at all, because it really is that simple. How far can you take the idea of a game on your phone where all you do is tap your screen and you make a bird flap his wings? That's it. There's not more you can take. I mean, yeah, the people, they added more skins, more challenges, more levels, but past that, the actual gameplay loop just stops there. There's no more. And that's the thing I said about one famous actor playing it. I feel like that would happen. Because if you check the actual Twitter account, the one guy running the account, he doesn't want people to actually, he wants one famous person to mention it. Because they tagged that one actor that played in the Last of Us show, that girl character, and they were like, hey, you want to play this? It's pretty interesting. And I was like, what correlation does that actor have to your game? And why the fuck would she play it or mention it on, on her own Instagram or account? But at the same time, how big could the budget be for this game where they can pay someone famous to mention it and be like, look, this famous person mentioned it, go play our game? It won't be that big. I think the most you'll get is how one famous TikToker mention it, play a bit on a TikTok live, and then just stop there. There's no more. And the biggest thing to consider is that gaming has come to a point where if you play on your phone, that's already dead. But a game where all you do is just tap on your screen and just do that over and over, at this point, we have better games that, by comparison, it makes that one seem a bit boring. Because back when Flappy was popular, the whole idea of playing a game on your phone, on your brick of an iPhone 6, was like, oh my god, you can do that? And it was revolutionary. But now, you have a PS5 Pro, an overpriced console, you have that. So the idea of playing Flappy Bird on your phone seems really boring now, very dated and old, which really makes me feel that a lot of the punch will be gone from it because it's not as interesting. But that's simply my estimate. That's what I think will happen. Because the game, it is set to be released soon, as I said in the trailer, landing soon. That's pretty clever. But from what I've read in some article, I can't remember what, but it said it'll be coming out in 2025. And if that's true, if it's coming out next year, I'm like, how hard can it be to put a simple fucking phone game on a phone? It can't be that complex. And I was thinking as well, I want to know, do they have the original code for the game back 10 years ago, or did they have to remake it from scratch? Because that game is so old, I don't feel like someone, they would treasure the actual code for what made the game in a safe place. The guy that made it probably deleted it and just threw it away, so I'm not surprised. But I guess we'll just see when the game comes out. And by the way, the last thing I was saying to developers is that if you want the game, to be popular again or have a big selling factor, is that you should do what Fortnite did, where if you have the original Flappy Bird installed on your phone, it's still there after so many years, you get a secret skin potentially from that way. Somehow if your phone can detect that it's the original app, potentially, that would be clever. That would be a smart Easter egg, a smart Zombies Call of Duty Easter egg. That'd be good.